Another way of doing transformation is rotation. We either rotate anti-clockwise, going that way around, or we rotate clockwise, going that way. Let's look at an example. I want to take each point here, and I want to rotate it. Then an easy way, when we rotate it anti-clockwise around the origin, which means here's the origin, let's go around that way. If I go here, I've gone 90 degrees. If I go here, 180 degrees, and here, 270 degrees, because I'm starting in this quadrant. And it's important what happens with the x and y values. I'm going to show you that now. So let's take this triangle and rotate it about the origin. If I label this whoopsie, I wanted to label A, B, C, then let's write down our coordinates over here. The coordinates of A is 2 and 2. B is 4 and 6. And C is going to be 10 and 2. Those are my coordinates. When I go 90 degrees around the anti-clockwise around the origin, this A is going to come into this quadrant over here. And it's going to become -2 and 2. -2 and 2, and that's going to be point A. B is going to come around, but look what happens. Instead of being 4 and 6, it's going to go to -6 and 4. -6 and 4. My x and y values swap around. Now look at what quadrant I'm in, and that's -6 and 4. And C is going to go from 10 and 2 to -2 and 10 up here. -2 and 10. Again, I swap my x and y values. And this here would be a 90-degree rotation. So that's A, that's B, and that's C. If I keep going around and I go 180 degrees, then it stays the same. X and y will stay the same, but they both become negative. So A goes from 2 and 2 to -2 and -2. That point there would be my A. So you know what I didn't do? Remember, you've got to put your dashes. Alright, so A now sits at -2 and 2. B goes from 4 and 6 to -4 and -6. See, x and y stays the same, just the signs change. This will be my B there. And C goes from 10 and 2 to -10, -2. Stays the same, just my signs change. And this then is a triangle going 180 degrees. 270 degrees. Again, my x's and y's swap, but now I'm going into this quadrant over here. So A goes from 2 and 2 to 2 and -2. 2 and -2, that would be my A value. If I go with B, B goes from 4 and 6 to 6 and -4. 6 and -4. That's B over here. Oh, my pen's not working. B there. So look again. It was 4 and 6 over here. X and y must swap, and it becomes 6 and -4. And C goes from 10 and 2 to 2 and -10. 2 and -10. That there would be my C value. Because we had to swap our x and y. X and y swap when we go 90 degrees, and x and y swap when we go 270 degrees. And then you just see which quadrant you land up to see if it's positive or negative. And that's rotation.